Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo just took place in the co-main event of UFC 270 and Ngannou versus Gane, and I can't wait to break down this co-main event. What an amazing fight in the flyweight division for the Flyweight World Championship, and Deiveson Figueiredo at the end of it is scored the winner by decision and gets his belt back in the flyweight division. The trilogy is over, but the quadrilogy has only just begun. Figueiredo called out Moreno afterwards and said he wants to do the quadrilogy in Mexico, which I just love the sound of. Let's get it started straight away, but either way, Figueiredo won this fight 3 rounds to 2. But what's very confusing about this is that everyone on social media seems to think that Brandon Moreno won that fight, and I have no idea how they can possibly think that Brandon Moreno won that fight in any way whatsoever. I get it, it was competitive, but there's genuinely zero chance that Brandon Moreno won that fight, and I have no idea yet again why the MMA community is being completely willfully ignorant about what they've just watched. Deiveson Figueiredo won 3 rounds to 2 against Brandon Moreno, and he was the very, very deserving winner of that bout. He got booed out of the arena. The commentators even mentioned something as well. I just got done listening to Bisping say nothing about a robbery in the main event between Ngannou and Gane, but mentioned that maybe there was a robbery in the co-main events. There's zero chance of a fucking robbery, and I'm sick of you absolute soy boys, man. I'm sick of it. Give Figueiredo his due. I picked Moreno to win by 5th round TKO. I picked him to win. I was wrong. You want to know why I was wrong? Because Figueiredo outlanded Moreno in the first round. He landed the better shots in round 1 as well. At 2 moments in the first round, he dropped Brandon Moreno with leg kicks. He wins round 1. In round 2, he even knocks down Brandon Moreno, but I say Brandon Moreno outlanded him so much that it doesn't even matter, and Brandon Moreno gets himself round 2. 1-1 going into the 3rd round. The 3rd round is Deiveson Figueiredo's round, whether you fucking like it or not, and so is round 5, and you want to know why? Because he dropped Moreno in both of those rounds. End of the discussion. He cleanly dropped Brandon Moreno with right hands in the 3rd and the 5th round, and he clearly won round 1. There is no possible way you could possibly tell me that Moreno won round 1, so if he didn't do that, which he definitely fucking didn't, because it was a clear Figueiredo round, very clearly, then how did he win that fight? Rounds 3 and 5, Moreno was knocked down, Figueiredo was not, and they were very competitive fights and very competitive rounds outside of those knockdowns. So please, I beg of you, all of the people on social media calling this a robbery, any one of you that has called this a robbery over the past half an hour or hour since you've watched a fight, please describe to me how Brandon Moreno wins round 3 or 5, because he got dropped in both of them and hurt in both of them and almost submitted in round 3 as well with a Darce choke at the end. He genuinely got saved by the bell at the end of round 3. So please, I'll ask you again, how does Figueiredo lose? He dropped him in round 5, he dropped him in round 3, and he clearly won round 1. 3 rounds to 2. Everyone on social media was all over Holloway beating Volk because Holloway scored 2 knockdowns in rounds that he was losing and lost the other 3 rounds. They believed that Holloway should have won because he got 2 knockdowns and lost the other 3 rounds. Figueiredo got 2 knockdowns in rounds that he might have been already winning, but also got outlanded in certain moments as well, and clearly won an extra round, and now all of a sudden, knockdowns don't mean anything. Moreno won the fight despite losing 3 rounds to 2. Is that what you're telling me, social media? Bisping's going to toot this horn. Joe Rogan's going to mention this as well. Everyone's going to bring up the fact that they thought Moreno should have won. And it is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And they did the same thing in the first fight as well. We get it. You're under 5'6". You like Brandon Moreno. I completely understand. You see yourself in him. You want to root for Brandon Moreno and you think he won. He's a very nice guy. And you like Brandon Moreno and you want him to succeed. Fact is, he lost. Get over it. Sick to death of this shit. Every weekend. MMA is becoming more delusional over and over again. The fact that no one, and I mean fucking no one but me and the Weasel, which is a weird companionship we've now created, is calling Gane versus Ngannou a fucking robbery. No one on social media is mentioning that that was a fucking robbery because it really was a robbery. But everyone is calling this a robbery. You wanted Moreno to win. He lost. But let's talk about the fight in general because that's what we're here for. Amazing bout back and forth. Both guys landing good shots early. Figueiredo definitely had a more grappling heavy approach, but he just couldn't get as many of the takedowns. 2 out of 11. 1 out of 2 for Brandon Moreno. Had more control time in the favour of Deiveson Figueiredo. And again, 3 knockdowns in that fight. 3. In 3 different rounds. And in one of the rounds, he didn't even win it because of the knockdown. I still gave it to Moreno. And you guys can't see how Figueiredo won that fight. It's crazy to me how many people think that Moreno won. Deiveson Figueiredo won. Very good shots. Stayed very patient. Didn't use as much energy. Brandon Moreno was very hesitant. Now, Brandon Moreno did land more of the good shots. He won the majority of the duration of the fight. But in those key moments where he needed to hurt Figueiredo, he didn't. He landed one good shot that wobbled Figueiredo for a second. They both landed good shots on each other. But other than that, Figgy dropped him 3 times. And at the end of the 3rd round, he dropped him so badly with a right hand, really badly. Brandon Moreno was rocked all over the place, and Deiveson Figueiredo almost had a dash choke at the end of that round. There is 0 chance that Figueiredo can lose round 1 or 3. 0 chance. There is no chance he can lose round 5, because he knocked down Moreno again, and it was a very competitive round other than that. And it was 21-18 in favour of Moreno. And Figgy dropped him. Robbery. What does Figueiredo have to do? I get it, you don't like him. You don't like him, he's a confident man. Seems to be a trend with MMA fighters nowadays. If a confident guy comes up that wants to sell pay-per-view buys, the MMA community and the social media comments shit all over them and then post on another thing that they want fighters to get more money, whilst also shitting on the fighters that bring in the pay-per-view sales and are going to lead to fighters earning more money if they fight on their cards. That's what people do. They're absolutely retarded. I have no idea how you can score that fight to Moreno. It's 3-2 Figgy. Got the job done. He walked out to get Figgy with it. No. It was a great walkout from Figueiredo. I wish he would have walked out to the God of War theme instead. It would have been way cooler. But either way, Brandon Moreno, he just didn't seem as switched on early, man. He got his legs chewed up. He got his body hurt a couple of times. And again, he landed his good shots. The left hook is always there for Brandon Moreno, and it's always going to be there because Figueiredo, when he's posturing on his lead leg, looking to land that lead hand, his right hand is by his fucking waist. So Moreno kept finding that left hook again in this fight, just like he found it in the second fight, and just like he found it in the first fight as well. Now, this wasn't as fun as the first fight they had. We're going to do a quadrilogy, so I guess those people that think Moreno should have won will get to see if he can win the last one and take home all of the marbles and call himself the best flyweight at the moment, because Figueiredo's the top dog right now. He's the flyweight champion. He wants to fight Moreno in Brazil. In Mexico. I don't see them doing the fight in Mexico whatsoever, to be honest with you. I think it's going to take place in Brazil in May. That's when I would do it. Neither guy really took too much damage other than Moreno. Figueiredo's got nothing on his face. No marks on his face whatsoever. No marks on his body. No broken hands. No shins or anything like that. Moreno's got some marks on his face because he was hit really hard and dropped 3 fucking times in the fight in 3 separate rounds. But still somehow won in some people's eyes. But still, Moreno's young. He's going to be looking to get right back in there. So let's make this fight again in May on that Brazil pay-per-view card and have Deiveson Figueiredo defend his belt in Brazil because, again, I would love to see a Mexico fight with Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo. It was a badass call out for Deiveson Figueiredo to even make, to say, I want you in Mexico, because if anywhere the judges are going to be on Moreno's favour, it's going to be in Mexico. So, let's do it in Brazil. June is the McGregor card. It's not going to be in Mexico, and even if it was, they can't have a title fight on the card if McGregor's on the card because he's going to be the main event. July is International Fight Week. They're not going to do that in Mexico, so unless we want to wait until August, which I really don't want to fucking do. Don't want to wait until August whatsoever, in any way. Unless we want to wait until August, we do it in May. In Brazil, in the co-main event, in the feature fight. Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prohaska, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Deiveson Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno 4. You've got yourself a fucking amazing card. That would be amazing, would it not be? That would be one of the best cards you'd seen. With other fights on the card, Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz on the pay-per-view card as well. Aldo versus Dillashaw maybe instead on the pay-per-view card. And then Paulo Costa versus Dominic Reyes to open up the main card. Or even Paulo Costa versus someone else at light heavyweight or middleweight, whoever he wants to take on next. They could be on the main card as well. This is a perfect time to make these matchups, and I'm really looking forward to it. I don't even think Johnny Walker has a matchup, so maybe they could do Paul Craig versus... No, Johnny Walker's fighting Jamal Hill. Never mind. Ignore me. But either way, I love all of these times. I love these matchups. Let's make them all happen in Brazil. And let's get this shit going, man. I want to get the quadrilogy over and done with, so the winner of Kara France versus Askarov can fight for the belt after March when they're fighting each other. Pantoja is... I don't know what he's going to have to do. Sorry, Pantoja. Other than that, though, Deiveson Figueiredo won. Had a great moment on the microphone afterwards. Moreno straight up lost, man. And usually, yeah, I can see an argument. Like, there's no argument for Gane and Ngannou because Ngannou did nothing at all but lay on top, and control time doesn't win points unless it does. But it doesn't. But, there's no argument. Figueiredo won. If you want to give him round 2 because he knocked down Moreno as well, you kind of can, because he knocked him down badly, although he did get rocked himself, so I didn't give him round 2. I'm even being kind of biased for Moreno to give him 2 rounds. Figgy won. Get over it. He landed great leg kicks, he had a grappling heavy approach in certain moments, found his moments on top of Moreno in the fight, never let himself end up on bottom like he did in the second fight either, landed the bigger shots at range. Moreno landed some really good shots as well, don't get me wrong, some great jabs, some great left hands, some great lead hooks and stuff like that, but Figgy landed the leg kicks. They were everything in the fight. Massive leg kicks throughout the fight he was landing, dropped Moreno off his feet about 5 times in the first 3 rounds, I want to say, and Moreno just couldn't get going the way he wanted to in the later rounds, and Figueiredo capitalized when he needed to, and dropped Moreno in round 5, and it won him the fight. They brawled until the end. Figgy's mouthpiece came out, but he's still standing and trading. He won that fight. End of discussion. Now, Figueiredo's got some real weaknesses in his defense. I will say that, but he's such a savage that he kind of can get through that. It's like Max Holloway a little bit of the flyweight division, but a little bit less volume-based and a little bit more power-based. He was overthrowing some of his shots, but it seemed to me the more aggressive guy and the guy who wanted to KO the other one more was Deiveson Figueiredo. Moreno was trying to pick at him and move, and eventually you can't do that when you get dropped in a round. You're going to have to drop the guy back or beat the fuck out of him if you want to get that round back for yourself. How do people score this for Moreno? And I'll go on Instagram right now and just double check in case I'm being stupid here. I want to say every comment was robbery, 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 and I have zero idea why. I have no idea why they're calling it a robbery. So we go to this. Run it back again. I'd pay to watch. Flyweight's the best. Robbery. Robbed. Robbed, bro, robbed. 3 out of 3. Robbed. Moreno robbed. Robbed 6 out of 6. Couldn't believe I heard and knew such BS. 7 out of 7. Who won? This guy ain't even fucking watching. How was that unanimous? Unanimous? Absolutely BS. So the decision isn't wrong. Look at those 2 fucking things right there, yeah. UFC Instagram page, the picture where Figueiredo's landing a right hand on Moreno's chin. Look at the comments of Ed Young Lennon. Not Ed Young Lennon. Look at the comments of Michael Shanahan and Matt the Wallen 0227. I want you guys to pay attention and focus on these 2 little cretins, urchins, and fucking goblins that are on Twitter and Instagram right now. Michael Shanahan and Matt the Wallen 0227. Look at their comments. How was that unanimous? 293 likes, 5 comments. So, it's not that the decision was wrong, it's that it shouldn't have been unanimous. So if Figueiredo would have won, but Moreno got an incorrect scorecard his way, they would have been okay with the decision. But because Deiveson Figueiredo won all 3 of the scorecards, it's a problem to them. How do you logic with these retards? There's no way of doing so. I don't know how you can score that fight to Moreno. End of discussion. Great performance by Figgy. Bounces back with a vengeance. Henry Cejudo improves another fighter for a rematch when they got dominated the first fight. Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas 2 was very close. Definite improvements in Zhang Weili's game. Henry Cejudo improved Deiveson Figueiredo as well. He had a great performance. Even if you think he lost, it was a much better performance than the Brandon Moreno fight, but he won it 3 rounds to 2. Very good performance by Deiveson Figueiredo. In all honesty, in an ideal world, the quadrilogy shouldn't happen. Instead, Moreno should fight Pantoja for a title shot, and Figueiredo should fight the winner of Askarov versus Kara France. But because of the circumstance of how close it was, And because of the dominance that Moreno had in the second fight and how close Figueiredo made the first and third, you could argue that maybe Moreno should get his quadrilogy now, but I'm saying we have to make it quick. I'm not waiting until August, until Mexico card, September, July, May. 4 months from now, turn it right back around. You both took damage, but Figueiredo's nice and clean and healthy. And if Moreno wants his title shot, you got to tell him you got to come to Brazil in May. Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prohaska, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Figueiredo versus Moreno 4, Aldo versus Dillashaw or Cruz, Paulo Costa versus Dominic Reyes. And take my pay-per-view dollars, you slut. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. People call this a robbery, but not the main event. Crazy world, huh? Full of fucking tards. Toodle pip. Click that button up there. I'll see you later. Goodbye.